So it's been a while since I put a video out. My last video was week 24 of CC New Memory Work, and then we were finishing up community in RCC, and then I just kind of took a break. I asked everybody what kind of videos you wanted to see now that the cycle 1 is over. I got a few responses. One of them was, how do you incorporate CC New Memory Work into your school day? Another one was, what is your homeschool routine look like? So I went ahead and I just figured I'd make a video to answer both of those questions, hopefully. I've been putting it off because, one, I didn't really know how to do it. And two, that's pretty much it. So
our day starts like this. The kids come out in the living room first thing in the morning with their blankets. I'm out here with my books from my morning basket that I'm going to read that morning to them out loud, and my coffee, of course. The kids come out here with their blankets, they get comfortable, they lay on the couch, they sit in front of the fireplace, and they just settle in to listen. I start out by reading a chapter or two from the novel that we're currently in. Right now it's King of the Mound. It's a really good book, we're enjoying it. Read something out of the Bible, we'll talk about that, discuss that. Usually after that, if I'm not reading anything else that morning, then we will go to our new memory work. So I have a CC flip book. Whatever week we're currently in, we'll just sing through or chant through the memory work for every subject for that week. And then that's pretty much it. We'll go over that a few times and then we're done. That's our morning time. After that, the kids will go into the kitchen and we'll be making breakfast, and then everyone gets dressed and brushes their teeth and everything like that. Once everyone's done getting ready for their day, we'll come back into the kitchen and get to work on individual subjects, which is math, language arts, things like that. Individual subjects meaning that that's what they do on their own, or that's what they do one-on-one with me. They don't do it with each other in a group. When their individual subjects are done, then we will do our group subjects. Our group subjects are history and science. So they'll get a snack, we'll go to the table, sometimes we'll pull out some maps and they'll trace maps or draw maps, and they just listen. I will read out of the history book and then we discuss what we just read. If I read about places, then we'll usually locate them on a map. If I say any keywords from past history sentences from CC and it triggers any of those memory pegs, then we'll sing those memory work sentences. That's what we do generally for history and science, and those are our group subjects. We're pretty much done, except for their instruments. They all have instruments that they play and they practice, so they would usually do it at that time if they didn't get it done earlier during their individual subject time.
And then, you know, some days I'll throw in a geography time or a sign language ASL time, something like that, or a nature journal, and I'll show you around to the different things and kind of more of a visual of what that looks like. So I'm not quite sure how to do this with the walking around and everything, but I'm going to try to hold my camera and not be too shaky and walk around and show you the different things that I'm talking about.
Okay, so this is the morning box, or I guess it's the morning basket.
Has the read out loud that I'm currently reading out loud to all of them. Bible in here for our Bible readings in the morning, and then I have some flashcard with states on it, so we just kind of go through that real quick. What state is that? What state is this? I have my CC flip books in here. This is pretty much what I use to go over the CC memory work in the morning. Some mornings, depending on what we're doing, I have, we'll read a poem, I'll read a poem, or they'll read a poem. I have Story of the Orchestra in here, Life of Fred book, super fun. So I'll read through that, and then I got some maps and our vocabulary words that I'll just go through and say and have them tell me what it means, and a nature journal book, which I hardly ever get to as much as I want to. But that's our morning box. Consistently, though, we do the Bible, the read out loud, and the CC memory work flip books. So that's what we do every single morning. If we have time, then we do the other stuff. So I just take things from this basket, and then we all pile into the living room in the morning, and we're cozy on the couch with our blankets, and I have my coffee, and I read.
Morning, I look into my wonderful Simple Plan planner. I love this planner. Open it up, and then I have everything written down, every subject for each day of the week for the month. And then I come over here and I write it on their boards. I have these boards and that bookshelf right there.
For the individual subjects, I write on their board, their whiteboard, which is right above their cubby. I write on their whiteboard what they need to do that day. Then they come down here, and if math is page 185, they open their math drawer, they get their math book out, and they do page 185. It's got pencils and everything like that in there. When they're finished, then they erase it and put it back. Then they move on to language arts. So they get into their language arts drawer. Just stuff. Here we go. And that's got their pencils in it. It has spelling words, a handwriting book, and some of their vocabulary words, things like that. And then they also have a writing drawer. And then down below in their cubby, they have their tin whistle and their different binders with crayons and markers and different things like that. Glue, scissors. As they work through the day, they finish their things, their subjects, they erase it off the board, and that helps me see what they've done and what they still have left. And it also kind of helps them because their goal is to have a blank board.
Here's our other bookshelf.
Mostly our group subjects, but not all. This is my cubby. This has the teacher's guides that I use for every subject. The rest of them are pretty much theirs. So that is where they keep their Bibles and Bible books and things like that. This is science and art, so they have their science binders and science books. This is our history cubbies, the ones that we're reading this year. Read out louds. These are the novels that I read out loud to them in the morning, and some tracing paper. Our library cubby, where we put our library books. This is my girls, kind of like they're a part of their language arts cubby. These are the novels that they're going to be reading. So their books that they're reading this year. And then my son's binder, language arts binder, with the books that he's going to be reading this year. It's time to do history. Then I'll just come over here, grab our history book. We'll sit at the table. They'll draw, trace maps, do whatever, listen, and I'll read our history pages that day out loud, and then we'll talk about it. And that's pretty much what we do. Simplicity and consistency. Every once in a while, like, I'll be, the super fun homeschooling mom, and we'll do a CC review game that day, or we'll go outside and do nature journaling, or something like that. That happens sometimes. But as long as I can get my priorities, my basics in, which is what I just pretty much laid out, as long as we can go over that memory work every morning together, then we're good. Anything else I can throw in is great, and it's extra, but we'll be okay if our days are just not going to allow that. That's what we do. And, sometimes we'll be going through science or history, and a date or a name or a place will come up in what I'm reading, and that sparks a CC memory song or a sentence. Someone will break out in song or a chant of a history sentence or a science sentence or math or geography or even timeline. And everyone breaks out in song and starts singing. So that's pretty neat. So we kind of do a natural review that way, just going through our normal subjects. I hope that answers your questions about how we work CC into our day and kind of an idea of what our normal homeschooling routine, our daily routine looks like. If you're interested in the curriculums that I use for the different subjects, then go ahead and let me know in the comments. And if there's an interest, then I'll make another video about that. Alright, hope that helps.
Is this gonna work? We don't know. What else did I want to say? Oh,